Welcome to the Political Ferret Show. New content will be uploaded every Wednesday and Sunday, and if you like this kind of content, consider becoming a Patreon and help with just $1 a month to make the change possible. Well, today we're gonna talk about the Illuminati, but in contrast to most people on YouTube, I try to focus on the facts and the facts we can really measure and about motivations and so on. So this might be a strange experience if you know what other videos about the Illuminati on YouTube normally look like. So let's start in the beginning, shall we? You see, I love the whole thematic. I like conspiracy theories, they give me a great laugh normally, and I love the books of Shaw and Wilson. The Illuminati's trilogy was a wonderful reading for me as a young adult. And one thing that I also really like is the card game Illuminati that is loosely based on the novels. So this whole game is pretty much you create a conspiracy on your table while you drink some beers. It is a lot of fun, and I did not play these games for about 7 years or something like that, and it was covered in dust when I dug it out because I went to a gaming party. So I started to play the game again, but I was not very good in telling the people what the rules are, and I thought, well, there will be somebody on YouTube who made a video about that. And when I started to research just for a video that will explain the game to players who are new to this game, I found a lot of conspiracy theories and a lot of controversy around the card game. Remember, I was researching the card game, not Illuminati conspiracy, just the card game. But alone to the card game, there are so many conspiracy theories of, hey, there was a card that looked like 9/11, and yeah, I mean, it reads terrorist nuke, but who cares, isn't it? So I watched even some of the YouTube videos where people said, yeah, things that in the card game were predicted became true because the Illuminati want us to know that they have us in our hands. And I stopped watching, and when one of these nutjobs said, yeah, there's also a card that reads jihad in this game, and this was before 9/11. The jihad is as old as Islam. Europe had to endure a lot of jihads to this very point, but for a lot of American conspiracy theories, it looks like jihad was invented by somebody after 9/11 or shortly prior to that. So yeah, what should I say to that? I mean, this is the funny, strange part of YouTube that I enjoy, but you can't take this seriously. So let's talk about what secret societies, what the Illuminati are, by taking a look to another secret society. And for that we take something that is right in front of your nose, and this is the Political Ferret and his involvement into secret society. So what do we know about the Political Ferret? Well, we know he is a tiny political commentator on YouTube. He has some problems with authority and the establishment right now, but nobody knows really who he is. He will not tell anybody who he really is. So I will tell you basically two different stories, and you can think about them whatever you want. One might be true or both are bogus, nobody can know, but to that in a later moment. So let's start in the beginning. There was one guy, and he was of course part of a larger society with friends and family and so on. And at one point he started to think, hey, I can create a YouTube channel and take on the persona of a strange ferret. What a lot of people in society did not know is that he and some of his friends were already part of a bigger, larger secret society. This society had of course a name, but we will not call it by this name. But other peoples, even from his own family, did not know that he was part of this society, and this makes this society secret, because from the outside you do not know that it is even there, that it exists, but the people inside know that it is in existence. So, but they of course do not know if other people are in secret societies. So there are secret societies around because some people know that they will hold together against something or for something, and some people do not know that they have an agreement of sorts or a club membership in this regards. So what happened in the next step is that there were some people who say, okay, I help you with this project. I create some papers for you, I create some graphics for you, I create some scripts for you. So the channel Political Ferret is not held up by one person, but by a group of persons who influence the whole thing. And the ferret itself is not on top of the pyramid, it is a larger scale. He's part of a pyramid, and within this pyramid some people help him with his agenda, but it is more or less, to a degree at least, in line with the larger agenda of the whole group. So also parts of the groups who are above him might at a certain point help him with this whole project if this project starts to grab some traction. This means in essence that the channel Political Ferret, which you watch right now, is part of a network of more different things, some of them blogs, newspapers and so on. And there is a common agenda between all of them. It is not completely the same, but in a particularly point it is absolutely aligned, and they all pull in the same direction in this very one point. Not in all points, in a lot of points they even fight each other, but in one particular point they work towards a common goal based on the group that he was in even before he started this whole project. But in the end, there is a Political Ferret society, a core group around the ferret that creates the whole channel. And you can see that when you watch different videos, you will see that some videos are very different in tone, in graphics, even the grammar is different. So this is a clear indication that the ferret is not just one person. You hear always the same person, it's always the same narrator who reads a script that is written by different people and will use slideshows created by different people, and this is the reason why the whole channel looks so different from time to time. So let's start with the second story. The second story is quite short, it's a one-man show. It's one guy who created the whole thing, and he experimented up and down with different grammars, with different scripts, talking without scripts and so on. And he's so paranoid that he did not even tell his own wife that he created this show. So he made his show at 3 in the morning when everybody is asleep. That's the reason why he does not scream as much as he really wants. But it is a one-man show. Nobody around him knows that he is the Political Ferret. So, what is true? You don't know, you can't know. I mean, there are secret societies around us everywhere, but this idea that secret societies keep the keys to everything in the world in their hands is not true. And the reason why it is that a lot of people think that this is the case is it gives some people some sort of peace. Because they say a chaotic world, a world that is full of chaos, and the idea that there is some puppet master who creates this chaos gives some people a lot of peace. Whenever people who really believe in the Illuminati created everything and all wars are created by the Illuminati and so on, they often find a point where it says, yes, but there is chaos and they want to create chaos for some nefarious reasons, which gives them pretty much a purpose in life and says and tells them it's okay that the world is chaotic. In the background there is somebody who creates this chaos with an idea, with a master plan. So a lot of people who are very into their conspiracy theories use conspiracies to calm themselves down and to explain themselves why the world is so chaotic as it is, because they cannot grasp that the world is simply chaotic because nature is chaotic. So this gives them a lot of peace. The interesting thing is, when you talk about secret societies and conspiracies, every conspiracies that I dropped over were found that they were true, like a diamond scam about 100 years ago, where they found a big diamond mine and did as if there was none to keep the prices of the diamonds up, although the amount of diamonds was increasing, so they went over to Hollywood and paid some people to point out that you need on your wedding ring a diamond, so that they could keep getting diamonds out on the market and hold the price steady. This was a conspiracy about, I think, 60 or 80 years ago, and proved to be right. All of these conspiracies that proved to be right were business things. They were always about one group who had an information and used this information to screw somebody over. And you might call this conspiracy, I would call this business as usual. There are different businesses with different peoples inside. They have different ideas, they have different plans, they have different schemes, and they have different informations, and use all of that to screw the others over. This is normal. I know. In a perfect world, we all would cooperate, and in this cooperation, we will all get more prosperous. But in fact, you get a quick buck by screwing somebody over. So this is what people do. And believe me, in all my time in the industry, I was part of more than one of these conspiracies where people had information and used them to screw people over and find ways how to screw them over a little bit more. So the interesting thing now, when we go back to the real Illuminati, by the Illuminati that were founded by Adam Weishaupt in Ingolstadt in Germany in the 1770s. You have to think about what it meant to live in that time. What was the established system back then? Well, it was a monarchy with a pretty strong church. And some people did not like that, because what they wanted to have is a republic and an enlightened movement. And Adam Weishaupt was exactly one of those guys. He did not like the monarchy, he did not like the church. He wanted a republican system, he wanted enlightenment. So he created a club, the Bienenorden, the Club of the Bees in a sense, in 1776, which later will be known as the Illuminati, the Illuminaten in German. So they were against the absolute state of the monarchy. In essence, they were against the state. So what do you think does the state do with people who are against them, especially in a monarchy where they hold absolute power? Well, they will start up a little bit propaganda, and then they take out the big sticks, which was exactly what they did. So the Illuminati were there to fight the elite, which means the monarchy in essence and the monarchy itself. And the idea was to fight the elite with education. And with this education, there will be a new world order based on reason. This was the idea of the Illuminati back then. This was the core idea of the Illuminati back then, some 100 years ago. So what is the state, of course, doing then? He will draw Weishaupt as the devil himself and will say he's absolutely evil. And this propaganda did hold on over hundreds of years. He is essential the devil. So the Illuminati, his Illuminati, they are evil and they want to bring down the state and with it the world and the order and the monarch. And we forgot about the monarch, but we remember that they want to tear the system down and want to replace it with a new world order, which is dangerous. So to this very day you have a lot of groups who consider themselves anti-Illuminati to fight against this new world order that will bring a lot of things that Adam Weishaupt did fight against. This is because a lot of people do not know what the Illuminati really were back then. And the thing is, this is the big problem with a secret society. Everybody can say I'm part of the secret society, because how can you prove him wrong? Which means that a lot of people will do pretty much false flag attacks and say I did this in the name of this and that group. And when some other people write back and say, oh no, this is not in our name, you can't prove who are the real Illuminati. So there might be groups of people who consider themselves Illuminati, who want to create this new world order that is feared by people like Alex Jones and things. But the original Illuminati were Republicans, were people who are pretty much into reason. And not people who ran around and say, oh, death to everybody and we will enslave the world. This was not the idea. They were in a system where they were de facto enslaved and they wanted to change that. So from a point of today, I would say Adam Weishaupt would, in terms of today, be considered a rationalist. One guy that is still into the Enlightenment. So he would fit pretty much into the skeptics community, and in this regards, regarded by especially the young as pretty boring, because he wants the stuff that we have right now, and this is the stuff that a lot of people want to take away. In other words, the Illuminati exists to this very point still as long as Enlightenment did exist. They are a movement out of the Enlightenment to help the Enlightenment, to bring the Enlightenment forth, to bring a new world order based on reason, on thinking, and not on a monarch, on an elite, on a church, on religion, on superstition. So, do I have to break a lance for the Illuminati? I don't know if I could, but in essence, the interesting thing on secret societies is that they exist everywhere. Every meeting is a conspiracy to a certain degree, because in every meeting one part will closely resemble the idea of, hey, let's screw somebody over, I have an idea, I have some information, let's use that. This is normal, this is business as usual, and there are always people who work towards a common goal that they share, and this is then pretty much a secret society if they do not tell everybody about that. So I know it is way more boring than all these people who tell you that the Third World War is already in planning by the Illuminati, and that the Illuminati did create this and that, and they stand behind these president and will fight these president, and they are the deep state and they are the ones who will crash the state. And it is not true. It is not true. A secret society has the big problem that you can't expand beyond the points where you have direct influence over the people. This is the reason why secret societies only work if they take over existing structures and change existing structures to a certain degree, which means, in today's words, businesses. When a group of friends say, okay, I become CEO of Daimler, you become CEO of Siemens, you become CEO of GM, and when they achieved their goal after 50 years, they say, okay, and now we fuse them all together because we made a pact 50 years ago that we will do that. Will they be able to do it? Not really. They have to take more people into this group, and with every guy you take into this group, you dilute pretty much the basic idea, and it's not possible. And also the idea that there are secret societies for hundreds of years to keep them alive to all the chaos, and I don't think this is possible. But I know that the Illuminati did exist. I think that they exist still, although not in this name, and a lot of people who carry on this legacy of the Illuminati will not even try to consider to understand themselves as Illuminati. But as long as the idea that reason and enlightenment will create a new order is alive, the Illuminati are alive. And I do not think that this is a bad thing.